What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about God of War Ragnarok's biggest question it did not answer, and that is still the age-old question of who blew the horn. I don't know if there's a more popular, maybe there's more popular game theories that exist in the world, but probably not a more popular God of War theory, and this has really been a thing ever since 2018, towards the end of the game, who blew that gosh darn horn. And it's been something people have been wondering literally since that time. There's fan theories on YouTube dating back 4 years ago, 4.5 years. I know Captain Koopa has made some really awesome videos and some big videos talking about it. And I think we all kind of assumed that we would get an answer, or at least maybe we would get enough information to kind of hint at, who it actually was in God of War Ragnarok. And to be honest, we didn't. We really didn't. And even people who think that they knew, and I want to kind of go over some of these tweets and Corey's tweets because they were the most interesting here. Even people that thought they knew what was going on, they still got it wrong. So the first one that kind of popped off was at this account, MHM, spoilers, question Corey. My theory is that Kratos heard himself blow the horn from the future at the start of Ragnarok. It echoed so hard throughout the realms that it went back in time, which is a really cool and different theory. I mean, I'd buy it, you know what I mean? Except for the fact that Corey then said, that's cool, wrong, but cool. You get a cookie. It's oatmeal raisin, though. Sorry. Corey is an awesome tweeter. He handles things, I would say, extraordinarily well, as opposed to other like executives in companies, specifically gaming. You can take things on Twitter a couple different ways. Attacking people is a way, and he really doesn't. He kind of approaches both sides, people that like the game, people that hate the game. He's actually very respectful to both of them, and I really do respect that about the guy. But he also then, so he followed it up, right? So he said, no, that's wrong. That's not the correct theory. And he followed up by saying, basically, keep the faith. One day I will be coherent enough to actually create the moment to answer this. And there was a theory that maybe it was Baldur, right back. Actually, he kind of pushed that theory back in 2018 that maybe it was Baldur. And he said, everything is a misdirection. The real answer has a clue hidden somewhere out in the world. I mean, honestly, I can't decipher. His tweets are almost as hard to decipher as the theory, who actually did it itself in the game. So I really don't know how to read that stuff. But here's the deal. It seems like his general approach, and I do want to use his tweets quite heavily because although I think he's having a lot of fun with it, and maybe there's like half truths there, or maybe he's kind of leading us on a chase, I do think there is something there. And so one thing I want to focus on is his kind of direction of you'll get an answer eventually. Like one day, well, and again, he kind of speaks in riddles and all this stuff, but it does generally seem like one day we'll get an answer to this question. Now, look, I'm not a historian. I don't know as much of these kind of topics as other people. Again, I've seen some really, really awesome videos that have educated me, but I don't think I can hang with them. But I will say this, kind of taking a few steps back and thinking about the future of the series, okay? In my opinion, it could be Atreus. And the only reason I say that is because Atreus's future is still ongoing, right? Now, could they throw it in an Atreus game or even a future God of War game as to who actually blew the horn? Sure. But I just assume that because, and I mean, this contains spoilers, right? I think we're all clear on that. Considering Atreus is on a journey, but I'd imagine his story continues in at the very least, a Miles Morales style spin-off game, right? 5-10 hours, not a full-length God of War game, but something close. And that's at the least. At the most, you get a full-length, like the next God of War game is Atreus as the main character. Maybe it's not even called God of War, it's called God of something else. Now, I'm not saying, by the way, please don't twist my words, I'm not saying they're going to create an entirely new game to answer one simple question. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're going to make a spin-off Atreus game where he's going on his adventure, and the purpose of that game is to answer who blew the horn in God of War 2018. I don't think that's the case, but I do think it's something you can throw in as a plot thing, or maybe it's even like a throwaway line for all we know, right? But I do think you can insert it into whatever you do next. And so again, I'm sure there's like the Kratos thing, like him blowing the horn and that being actually the horn that called. I mean, that's incredible. That's a really good theory that I never would have thought of. So I'm not going to pretend like I know everything because I don't, but I will say, judging based off where the games are going, I mean, it makes sense that maybe Atreus could learn about, like as he continues on, into his future, maybe he learns about time travel, and that becomes a much more, because it was hinted at. Time travel is a big kind of theme in 2018, but it's not thrown so far in your face where it's like there's actively time travel happening. It's more like background details, and like they'll mention it, Mimir will mention it, or it'll be something that kind of just happens in the backdrop. It's not directly in your face. I'm saying maybe it becomes directly in your face. Maybe Atreus starts to kind of go through that path, and through doing that, he learns that maybe it was him, or even just through Atreus, we learn who did it. It doesn't even necessarily have to be Atreus. Does that make sense? So that's kind of where I'm at, which is good. I mean, almost inadvertently by saying this stuff. And I mean, it actually is a way you can look at this in general by constantly talking about how, one day we'll tell the story, one day it'll be inserted. You are confirming more God of War games. I mean, at the end of the day, that is what you're saying, because unless there is, you could just say it on Twitter. You could just say it on social media, or, wherever you are. You could make a video on it on their YouTube. I don't know. You could literally do whatever, but I assume the most basic way of doing it would be to, create a game, and then that answer would be told in that game. So I think more than anything, whether, whoever it is that actually blew that horn, I do think this kind of confirms, and I always have thought there's going to be more God of War games, but it's kind of just another, tip of the hat that, yeah, we're going to make more of them because we have some unanswered questions. And final thing, I'm not saying this is like the only question in Ragnarok. There are still some things that they've left kind of open, and honestly, based off Corey's, dialogue, it seems like a lot of these questions could have been left open purposely. Like, they know that they left things kind of open, and maybe some of it is laziness, maybe some of it is they forgot. I mean, it could be a variety of things. But I mean, based off of how he's talking and kind of the confidence, he's not coming at it from like, oh shoot, we forgot to tell you who did it. You know what I mean? We were gonna do it and we forgot. No, I think they purposely left that out, right? And there could be other things they purposely left out as well. So it's not the only question Ragnarok doesn't answer, but I think it's the biggest. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know when all these videos go up. And I hope to see you all on the next one.